This is Ron Glick with the Great Montana Conspiracy Podcast. I'm coming on here to address a recent podcast episode discussing the Flathead Faerie Festival and the lawsuit I filed against them. Though I can't speak about the specifics, I can say that the settlement has been reached, and though not all issues in the lawsuit were addressed, and certainly not all the claims I made have been settled, I can say that I received something from the settlement that I would not have received had I pursued the entire lawsuit. And that is a letter retracting the grounds behind my ban as a vendor from the program, though not specifically the ban itself. Again, I will leave that up to the viewer to decide whether this was the right course of action to take, but I feel that if I continued with the lawsuit, I likely would have prevailed eventually, years down the line possibly, but I don't think I would have been receiving anything more than a financial compensation. And what I really needed to do was to rectify the gross injustice that was done against me regarding my reputation. Towards that end, the one area of the settlement I can discuss is, because I'm actually required to do so, is discuss the letter they issued retracting the statements that were made in their July 15th, 2025 letter. And I'm going to read that letter here, and of course I will make it available for anyone who wants to view it. Dear Mr. Glick, the Flathead Faerie Festival Board writes regarding its July 15, 2025 correspondence letter concerning vendor participation in the 2025 Flathead Faerie Festival. Upon further consideration and review, the Board wishes to clarify the scope and intent of the letter. The letter was solely intended to notify you that the festival had decided to withdraw your participation as a vendor for the 2025 event. The decision was an event management determination, and the letter was not intended to make any inferences regarding your character, reputation, or personal conduct. To the extent the letter has been interpreted in a broader sense, the Board clarifies that it was not intended to imply that your participation as a vendor would result in disruption of the event or raise safety concerns, that you were prohibited from attending the event as a member of the public, or that you were formally banned from the festival. The Board retracts any such implications and further clarifies that the letter and any interpretation of it should not be relied upon by any third party for any purpose, and do not reflect any determination regarding your character, reputation, personal conduct, safety, or suitability for participation in events. The letter was limited to a specific vendor participation decision for the 2025 festival, and should not be interpreted as a general assessment of your person or used as a basis for decisions by third parties. The Board further clarifies that the letter was sent as a direct communication to you regarding vendor participation only, and was not intended as a formal public or broadly disseminated statement of the Board. While the Board maintains its discretion regarding the vendor participation decisions for its events, it regrets any confusion or misunderstanding that may have arisen from the wording of the letter. Sincerely, and then signed, of course, the Chair of the Board. Now, I do wish to say this letter addresses specifically the allegations made and raised in the July 15th letter that state that there were safety concerns and that my participation raised concerns for the safety. I can say that even though I do not wish to participate further in the Flathead Faerie Festival, the ban against me participating as a vendor remains in effect. Therefore, although they have retracted their rationality in written form, they have not retracted their desire not to have me present. Whether you wish to interpret that to be the original decision was based upon my allegations as true, or whether that is a new basis for ongoing decision not to have me participate as a vendor, either way, I will not be participating in future Flathead Faerie Festival events. That said, and I can say this with all sincerity, even if they had rescinded and offered me an invitation to return, I'm not entirely certain that I would return. After being treated the way I was treated, not just by Flathead Faerie Festival Board or anyone else, I can't say that I would want to return to an event that so openly and flagrantly caused me such grief. It's an ongoing struggle to deal with a false accusation of this nature. Even though I have served a 20-year sentence, I'm free. I will never be free of the allegation that's hanging over my head. Simply put, the decision is final. No one will ever be able to reverse it, even if, for some ungodly reason, someone came forth and attested to the truth. It wouldn't matter. The case is settled, the sentence is done, there's nothing I can do to undo it. And quite frankly, it'll be something I bear for the rest of my life. I am going to deal with bigots. I am going to deal with people who are discriminate, who have hate-mongering in their mind, and they are going to discriminate against me and bar me from things and retaliate against people close to me. And regardless of whether anyone chooses to believe that this retraction is sufficient, I'm taking it as such for this point in time. But let it be said, this is not likely to be the only time that I suffer from this. In fact, it certainly isn't. I live with it every day. I'm constantly finding reasons that people simply choose not to associate with me because of this false label. And it's unfortunate that we live in a society that doesn't work off truth or honor or integrity. It works off of hate. It works off of bigotry. It works off of segregation and us versus them mentality. And it was sad that this lawsuit had to be filed. But it is settled, and as I said, the terms of it can't be discussed because of confidentiality. But I can say that I feel I made the right choice, because if I had proceeded to take this case all the way to the end, and even if I had prevailed, I would not have gotten a letter that recants the allegations made. And although it's not a perfect solution, I feel it was the best solution I could have hoped for under the circumstances. That being said, I do wish everybody the best of luck, and I cannot say anything further without obviously expressing my feelings that would go to the element of derogatory. And I'm doing my best not to be derogatory to these people. I do feel that their attorney was probably the best negotiator I've worked with probably since I left California as a paralegal. So I have to say, I was very impressed with her, how professional she was and how she handled it. I can't say as I'm impressed with everyone else involved, but that's my personal opinion. And it's not meant to in any way infringe upon the integrity of anybody else. These people made their choices, and they continue to make their choices. I just won't be a part of them. That said, I wish everybody the best of luck. Be good to yourselves, be good to others, and please, as always, be safe.